Jinx senior running back KD Jones is our 2025 Player of the Year. And KD, let's start right there, man. I'm sure this was one of many goals for you to firmly establish yourself as the best player in the state of Oklahoma. What does it mean to you to be considered the best player in Oklahoma?
Yeah, like you said, this is kind of everything I worked for, through my whole high school career. All the summers, the early mornings, the late nights. You really want to just work to be recognized as one of the best, and this award is showing.
265 carries, 2,001 yards, 41 touchdowns, 38 catches, 403 yards, and 5 touchdowns. We'll get on the receiving in a little bit because I have an opinion on that. But I joked with you beforehand. You were our very first freshman of the year back in, I guess, 2022.
Yeah.
To fast forward to now being the player of the year, you obviously had a very busy career. You made the most of your 4 years. When you look back at the last 4 seasons, your first year with Broken Arrow, the last 3 with the Jinx Trojans, what are some of your favorite memories?
I would just say the brotherhood I built, whether that was at BA or Jinx. I built some really good relationships, some that that will stick for probably the rest of my life. So I would say just making memories with your brothers, because y'all are grinding together. It's hard. Football is not easy, especially playing in the highest division in the state. It's definitely not easy. So just grinding with my brothers. Just knowing the process sucks, but it sucks for all of us. So we all just battling it together.
Yeah, look, if football was easy, everybody would do it, right?
Exactly.
Let's talk about this season. And when we talk about this season, it's hard not to bring up the Mustang game. I wrote down the numbers so I wouldn't forget them. 45 carries, 445 yards, and 8 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I only have one question to follow that up. How?
Shoot, it was just I had to. That's really the answer. I just had to. We had to win that game. So, I was willing to do whatever it took to win that game. Shout out to my offensive lineman, of course. 445 yards. That's something not a lot of people hit in a game. So, and just thanks for my coaches for putting trust in me. Thanks for my lineman. Blocking for me, QB. Doing what he does, throwing the ball, make it easier, lighting up the box. So, but yeah, you asked how, I just had to. That's what it is.
45 carries. I'm assuming you were a little tired the next day.
To be honest, surprisingly, I was tired. I wasn't sore though. I thought I was going to be sore. I actually wasn't. So the body felt good. I could have went for another 45.
Okay. I don't know. Look. I don't doubt KD Jones, but we're talking 90 here. I mentioned your receiving, and I want to talk about your overall playing style because you showed literally every aspect of the running back position this season. From, we mentioned you can be a workhorse, you can carry the ball 45 times. You're also incredibly productive as a pass catcher. I talked with your coach, Adam Gaylor, back in September, and I talked about that element of your game, catching the ball out of the backfield, splitting out wide, making plays at wide receiver. And he mentioned, I think if KD committed himself to just being a quarter or a wide receiver, he would be a Division I wide receiver as well. Talk about your work ethic in wanting to be a well-rounded running back that can make an impact in all areas of the game.
Yeah, I just feel like you can never have too many tools in your toolbox. So, I have a receiving background. I used to play receiver. I actually didn't start playing running back until 8th grade. So 8th grade was my first year of running back. So I played receiver up until then. That's really where the background comes from, and it was kind of just a thing, like I said, just sharpen all your tools and make sure you have everything so you can be the best player you can be.
Now, obviously, people who have followed your high school career, they're well aware of who your dad is and the career that he had on the football field. What was that like for you, growing up around that and having him not only in your corner but constantly pushing you? Like, look, if you want to get to that highest level, which he was able to do, what was that like for you over the last several years?
Yeah, I would say I didn't really realize what it was, like what my dad had done in high school until I actually got to high school and actually really got to Jinx. Like you said, my dad is a Jinx legend. He's an Oklahoma legend. But it's great just having someone it's basically they had the blueprint. He went through it before, so if he can help me every step along the way, that's what he did. So he got me really prepared, whether that was high school football, 8th grade football, or even college football. He got me really prepared.
I got to think he was telling you some stories, and you were like, I don't think that's true. And then people started backing him up. They're like, oh, I guess Pops wasn't wrong.
Yeah, nah, that infamous game. He would always tell me about that when I was like, it's probably just a play. And then I watched it. I was like, okay, he's all right.
It's got some moves.
Yeah.
Got some moves. I'll be honest. At the beginning of the season, we started looking at the career rushing records at Jinx, and we saw what the number one spot was, where you were, and I was like, you're playing against 6A1 competition week in and week out. I was like, I don't know if he can get there. Sure enough, you were able to do it. What did that feel like to literally rewrite almost every record at Jinx? Because I don't think you get enough credit for this fact as well. You did it in 3 seasons. You had a whole other season at another school.
Yeah.
Like, you were able to rewrite the Jinx record book in 3 years. How did that feel? Almost every single rushing record now belongs to you.
Yeah, it's a really good feeling. I can't lie. Hopefully those records stand for a long time. Or, hopefully someone comes through and break them. But no, I mean it's just a real feeling. To see all my work that I put in. Those records. That's all the work that I put in. Like I said, all those nights, all the early mornings, everything like that. It's just a really great feeling.
You're headed to Oklahoma State. Eric Morris, the new head coach of the Cowboys. Patrick Cobbs, the new running back coach, both of them coming up from North Texas. What was your first impression of the Eric Morris hire, the new coaches that he's brought along, and what your future looks like in Stillwater?
Yeah, shoot, I'm super excited. I'm moving on Thursday, so it's coming real soon. But my first impression, I was super excited. When I saw it, I was like, because I was still committed to Kansas at the time. So when I saw it, and it definitely had my brain scrambling. So I really just talked it over with family, talked to my pops about it, and I just kind of made the best decision for me. I felt Coach Morris's offense and his system, I feel like it fit me the most. So if I can go in his system and shine, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, I'll throw this out as well. There was a freshman running back from Oklahoma that had a really good season at North Texas in 2025. He might be joining you in Stillwater as well, but Caleb Hawkins, of course, from North Rock Creek, had a great freshman year. That'd be a pretty good duo in Stillwater.
I hope he does come. He's a really good back. Led NCAA in touchdowns. So huge props to him. If he comes over and I can learn under him, I think me and him will be a great 1-2 combo.
What are some of your goals when you look ahead to your freshman year, the first couple of years in college? What are some of the goals that you have for yourself?
Yeah, main goal is I just want to get Oklahoma State back to, where Oklahoma State should be. I feel like I'm a hometown kid, so I feel like I have every right to, and that's what I'm gonna do. So, but no, personal goals, I just want to go in there and do my thing. I can't even really put no stipulations on there or anything. I just want to go out there, play ball.
Now, finally, we'll get you out of here on this. Jinx, obviously has a very rich championship tradition. They got a lot of players coming back. Give us a little insight on 2026. What do the Jinx Trojans look like without KD Jones?
Yeah, that's a big question. Because I have been at Jinx for 3 years, so it's Jinx hasn't been without me in 3 years. But no, I'm really excited to see how they come back. Like you said, they got a lot of returning starters. Dang near the whole team, the quarterback, receiver, everyone. So, I'm real excited to see what they do. That defense is returning, a really good defense. Like you said, they're young, and Coach Gaylor, second-year head coach, he gonna get them right for sure. Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. That was a home run hire a little over a year ago, and a great 2025 season, especially for this guy. That's the reason why he is our 2025 Player of the Year. He's wearing a necklace here that says one of one, and it's the truth for this season. He is one of one. He is our 2025 Player of the Year. Katie, congrats on a great career, man, and congrats on a fantastic senior season. Good luck at the next level, all right?
Thank you.
That's KD Jones of the Jinx Trojans. I'm Michael Knight. KD Jones, our 2025 Prep Red Zone Oklahoma Player of the Year.